Infinity Sound Popcast.
But yeah, I was saying about Latinos, how they just talk dumb loud for no apparent reason.
I was gonna say the other day that me and you were like, ajá, ¿cómo le ayudo? Ajá, ¿y cómo está? we were being so loud that my sister-in-law thought we were being for real though. Because I guess it is normal in our Latino household.
She thought you was talking to like un tío over there in El Salvador.
But no, she got the context clue that I was talking to you, but she was just like, what's wrong with them? Like, she probably thought I was serious.
Who was this?
My sister-in-law.
Oh, okay,
yeah. Mi cuñada, but it is normal in our households to hear your parent just screaming.
Yeah.
Ah, tía.
Yeah.
¿Cómo está?
Yeah. We used to call out to this. So my grandmother had a ranch in the outskirts of like the city in Cali, and so she had like her uncle taking care of it most of the time.
Okay.
And we would call there, and it would definitely feel like that. And it's just natural. Like naturally, you just feel like just yelling across the distance.
They're gonna hear you better for sure. I will say there's got to be a part there where like, say we did call a lot of uncles and grandparents and stuff. They're hard of hearing for sure though, right? So then they're probably from an era before telephones, or because they're third world country for us. So they probably weren't even used to like what a phone even sounds like, and it's just new technology no matter what, you know.
Yeah.
But shout out to my grandma, bro. She was on Skype with us. She would webcam. She put on little headphones.
Oh, yeah.
She'd be like, ¿Cómo estás, mío?
Oh, yeah. My grandma had the little iPad. What? She walk around with that iPad everywhere.
Yeah. Pero yo estoy hablando de allá. Ella Skyping. Grandma was over there in El Salvador Skyping us over here.
Right.
So I feel like that's another level. Just because you have to like walk your ass to El Ciber Cafe, you know?
Yeah.
So
well, our grandmothers are still in that little cusp where like they're able to enjoy technology. I mean, my grandma had a laptop. My grandfather didn't. My grandfather was still like to the very end, like maps. Like, you know, well, he was his before he retired, the last thing he did, he was like transporting like viejitos, you know?
Really?
Like third what do you call that? Third generation.
Senior citizens.
Yeah. I'm not good at this. I'm an immigrant still, okay?
Yeah, right. No, pero hablar en español, no.
Yeah. But point is, he would still draw his routes with the map. Pull out the maps all over Long Island. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. But then back to the because you know I'm really back in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Really back in.
But the new wave now is like these like young kids. Like I'm talking about like 8 and under. They're like asking their parents like, "What do you mean by he hung up on you?"
That's right.
Or like, what do you mean like hang up the phone?
That's right. Yeah, roll down the window.
And then, but you know, parents are like, oh yeah, roll down the window.
Roll down the window, yeah.
You know, there's a bunch of those. Hold your horses. Well, that's old.
That's really
that's
old.
Really
but
old.
I think all these I believe they're called euphemisms. I don't know if young Jamie can fact check us on this, but you know these euphemisms that we use.
We have a young Sid, okay?
Oh, young Sid. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, what up?
Man, you know what? I did want to take a really cool moment, bro, to thank you to Sid. You know, a big thank you to Sid Kell in the building, who
Sid Kell Productions
shows up super willingly, not against his will. You know, not against his will.
Not that you know of.
But
you don't know what our text message be like, bro.
But he kills it with the production, and so a big public thank you for Sid Kell.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
1000%. We couldn't do this without you, brother.
Hey, man. Thank you, man. I was telling Bryan this earlier. You know, it's really cool that you guys are so consistent with what you're doing, and I love being part of this because it's so consistent, and it makes me motivated to be here. I mean, we got here, like 9 a.m., woke up at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
To get this whole thing together. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Yeah, you guys keep doing what you're doing, and I got your back.
Thank you,
man. Thank you, bro. Hey, we were supposed to look up when.
Oh yeah.
Thank
you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, Sid. It was there. The joke wrote itself.
No, yeah,
really good.
No, that's really cool, man. Yeah, I think I just got off the phone with Flaco,
Oh yeah.
And he was mentioning how he's seeing everything that we're doing with the podcast.
IDS one time.
Yeah, 1,000. And he was saying how he's just really happy to see a bunch of other podcasts popping out, because his comes derived from this guy named Raymond that was heavy in the Latin music scene. You know what I'm saying? And but he had a podcast called The Basement, and so after they were like best friends, I believe. Hope I'm not butchering this. They're like best friends, and so but Raymond passed away, and he was like, I gotta carry the mantle.
Wow.
That's
a really good story.
That's how IDS in the spot
had to keep going.
Had to keep going.
Wow.
And it's like, but he's Flaco just does so much. You know what I mean? From just the whole music side of things, but then providing a platform for like Latin media to exist and have like a
right.
and he's only getting started. I
want to say Flaco's the only one like covering the street level Latin artist.
Oh yeah.
In Atlanta,
and opening up very important conversations for Latin musicians in Atlanta.
Yeah, with the DJs. I'm gonna call it like this. He's the one willing to go through the ugly part of it. Sorry. He's the one that's willing to go through the ugly part of the thing with there's the good, the bad, and the ugly in a lot of relationships and things like that. And so I think nobody's been willing to go through the ugly side of like dealing with what's the beef that I have with promoters or DJs or whatever it is that side of, because live is completely different than the side that we're on. We're on production, studio side, contracts. Like we're just on the front side of the on the other side of the glass, they call it. But yeah. So shout out to Flaco for that.
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, there are very important conversations that need to be had, and I think that like a lot of maybe what I've heard from Latin artists in Atlanta is that they just don't get the support that they kind of want.
Right.
But it's also like, hey man, you're not owed it.
Wait. So you're saying artists are not owed support?
Nothing. Nobody is owed anything for that matter,
That's
right?
Good. That's pretty good.
And so it's just like, man, like, but it's like you got to earn it. You got to put in the work.
See.
Somebody like MG who has been putting in the work for a long time. Like whatever is happening now in the era now and again Latin musicians or artists in Atlanta, like the era of collaboration is in a way better space than it was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Because
even 5.
Right. Yeah. Even 5. MG can pull up right now 5 different music videos where he's like collaborating with like 10 dudes, or some of them 5 dudes or whatever. But now the collaboration feels a lot more like intentional. Like yo, this is going out to the world. So everybody put on their best. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I think that right now that is the spirit that I'm liking out of Atlanta, out of what we're doing, out of just, plug and play. Number 3 coming up.
That's right. It's starting to lean more business, not personal.
Exactly.
That's pretty good. Man, dude, good point. Plug and play 3. Yeah. Plug and play 3. That is one of the things
happening.
That I really wanted to touch on today on this.
Yeah. Man, like, we whenever we talk about it, I think that we owe the people a little bit, just like why it didn't happen, but last year.
Yeah.
Because we started the buzz, right?
That's right.
And people were starting to like support and everything, and then everything fell through.
Right.
But I know that we talk about it, often, and we're like, damn, we feel bad that it didn't happen, but we do want everybody to know that like it wasn't meant to happen. It really wasn't meant to happen. And now that we're here though, and now with like Cinco Pistas and everything, it's like everything is just coming together. It's
coming together really nice.
And it's announced March 15th. It's gonna happen at Tree Sound. Get your tickets. etc. We'll plug that later. But you know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to
that's really good. I think with Plug and Play, it was worth starting from the top. Para los que no saben, you know. And then Plug and Play, I want to do a version of both of us, en español y en inglés, you know, like. But to start from the beginning, Plug and Play's initiative was literally just really me and you trying to understand, who's making music out here. At that point, we didn't know MT. You know, we knew a few people and whoever we worked with alongside in this studio environment. But we didn't really know who's writing, who's making beats. Although I had met a lot of the characters, right? Like here and there. Like say I had met Ray G, or I had met El Cesar once. I had met Cat on the Move once out and about, like, but just literally only one time. So I didn't really, it wasn't still an organized idea,
Right.
Organized community. It's called a community. And so yeah, Plug and Play started from us going, dude, let's get a roster going. Like, who do we know? Who can we call? Who do we work with? That and being frank, we want more people to work with in the studio, especially at that time. We didn't have more just work to work on. We're like, man, how can we work on more Latin music? Because we need more than just me and you.
Yeah, well, for me, I was fresh off of like a really pretty long run of just R&B and hip hop and trap, you know what I'm saying? And so I know that, speaking for myself, my soul needed it. I needed like just the warmth of my people, I needed the language. I needed to be around the crack, you know what I'm saying? So I started hitting up a bunch of like salsa concerts. I started hitting up a bunch of just Latin nights, etc. And so that was really good for sure. And then once one of the first people that I met out, like I was here at the studio, my friend Gia that was still working here, she was like, yo, have you met this guy named PR? And so shout out to Quinto. He's like, he came in, played some jams, some fucking mean ass reggaeton. I was like, oh yeah, here we go.
Here we go. Here we go.
And that's actually how we met. You know what I'm saying? Through Quinto.
Through Quinto.
And then it was.
Y te cambió la vida el resto de tu vida.
Wow. and then after that, I know that we really like set forward to like to do this thing with building the community. And for me, it was like very much like, who's out here? Mm-hmm. Who I just want to meet you. That's how we met everybody that you mentioned. You know what I'm saying? And I hadn't met a lot of those people. I know that you had probably had your run-ins and stuff like that.
That's right.
But I hadn't met 95% of them. So
that's pretty good, man. So I mean, that takes us to what it did, man. We were really thankful to have the initial social impact that it had. Like it was really cool to see that first. Like it was just phone calls coming up. Like even shout out to Crazy G, right, at Mega Atlanta Radio, who was one of the people to go, yo guys, I don't know how you're doing this. How did you do it? How did you put a room together full of everybody? And I'm like, I don't know. We're just trying something. It felt that way at first, but there is some type of call to action that we did that brought the people in the building and they showed up. Entonces, but at the same time, so then some of the other people who had a similar mission showed up and go, okay, I want to support you. And it keeps happening. So I'm really grateful for that because we did Plug and Play 2 and had more support. So it was really fun. But then now it's on another level. You mentioned Cinco Pistas earlier, and people are still wondering what is Cinco Pistas. So I think to take a brief second, Cinco Pistas is Atlanta's first Latin music nonprofit dedicated to the artists, though, right? So there's other nonprofits for the arts. I don't want to beef with nobody who has nonprofits. I don't know the world enough, but I'm just going to talk freely here. And from what we know, there's a lot of people wanting to touch nonprofits in different ways, but they want to kind of abarcar demasiado, ¿no? El que abarca mucho poco aprieta, the classic one. Entonces, people are trying to do arts or dance, the other things that deserve their merits.
All of them combined, really.
Yeah. So that's okay.
Sure.
That's okay. However, we're artist focused. We're artist focused, studio focused,
Latin musicians. Focused.
musicians focused, and so Cinco Pistas. Everybody involved with Cinco Pistas is in the exact same position as us as well. That they're super Latin music and artist focused. That's all they want. That's all we want. So we found a lot of synergy in that, and so therefore they're like, man, how can we? It was funny because they're like, how can we get a room together? How can we do an event? And it's like, you know what? We have the plug and play, right? So I mentioned all this, really my real back end for this, and I'm glad, first of all, to mention it. But number two is that something that we started 2.5 years ago, I want to say, like 2.5 years ago-ish, it's starting to see life, I think, today. It's starting to see life today. So I think that, I mean, it's a nod to like consistency. Just do the thing. Don't be scared. Keep going. Try again, and it'll all work out in the end if you have faith. And that's kind of it. That's my plug and play spiel, I think. I don't know if I have anything.
Yeah, and doing it the right way because, you know, intentionally we decided to do it like annually, you know, on an annual kind of basis.
That's
you
right.
know, like we've only had two. And they've
That's
been
right.
so successful that each one, I know I have people, you have people that call you the next day or the same night, whatever, and they go, we got to keep this going. You know,
That's right.
can we do this once a month? And it's like, hey, okay,
Yeah.
no, like this, first of all, it's just like, that's going to water everything down. You know, we don't want to like, and there's a time and place for all of the other ones that are going to happen once a month. You know what I mean? Like back to Flaco, he's gonna do his spotlight joints that
Oh,
he's
that's right.
starting.
That's right.
You know, and
Is that official? Are we allowed to say that?
yeah. I mean,
Oh, okay.
shit is out.
Okay.
So, but you know, he's doing his once a month things. You
Yeah.
know, and that has his space. And I'm gonna pop out to the first one.
Yeah.
You know, we should pop out. You know,
Absolutely.
And so, but basically, like just doing it the right way, really focusing on like how to create like real value for the people that do come,
That's right.
for the artists that do come, for the creatives, for everybody, you know, just like not just because if we, you know, we've had this conversation many times where it's like if we're just gonna call it a gathering, then let's just call it that,
Being
and then it'll just be a fucking write off on the company, and then cool company party.
honest.
You know, but that's not what this is. We're not even, you know, it's not for making money. We've damn near every time just giving everything away,
Yeah.
you know, or just covered costs,
Yeah,
etc. You
that's
know,
right.
and so I think that that's why like it's so funny. Like that's how life is. That we're like, the universe just goes, oh, let me wrangle you in, let me wrangle your ideas in. Oh, and let's call it Cinco Pistas.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it works out.
And it's like, yeah, that is what we've been doing the whole time. Now is just like kind of formalized in a way.
That's right.
You know, before we were having to like present it ourselves or our production company at the time or whatever. But now it's like presented by Cinco Pistas.
Nonprofit.
You know, the nonprofit.
Yeah. It's
Which
much more
it all
organized.
just ties in. It all just makes sense. And, you know, hopefully it just keeps growing beyond us. You
Absolutely.
know? Like, I think that's our conversations too, right? It's like, you know, at some point it's, you know, it got to grow wings.
It
Got to
has
grow
to.
wings, and it's got to just be its own thing, you know?
What do you want to see out of this plug and play? Like, is there a thing that you want to see out of this?
Yeah, I want
Results.
to. Yeah, I just want to see like a lot of new faces.
A lot of new faces.
A lot of new faces. I wish that the word could get out to just as many people as possible. So like, if you know somebody that is a producer, that's a creative, that's a songwriter, that's an engineer, that's is aspiring with something, that dabbles in, you know, taking gear apart. If you know a little kid, even as young as 13 years old, and they're dabbling, come out.
Yeah.
Come out, 16 years old, 20 years olds, it don't matter.
Yeah.
Like, if you're really trying to make it in the city, come network, come vibe, come meet new people. There's definitely going to be like a lot of like industry people in the building and stuff like that. So I just hope that the word gets out to as many people, but the right people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
and hopefully we get 200 in attendance. We've crossed the 100 mark. Hopefully we cross the 200 mark.
Yeah. Well, yo creo que lo primordial es gente seria, like just serious characters.
That too.
And when I say serious, I mean even if you're young, like you were saying, a 15-year-old, but as long as you're loving it and doing it, that means you're serious.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're 26, then there's a little more expectation on what serious means, and then in my opinion, but like meaning that you're releasing music or you're at least trying. So I would agree with you. A lot of new faces would be it. I do want to touch on what Cinco Pistas is expecting out of the Plug and Play. And we announced it at the launch party for Cinco Pistas in December, and we said we want to get the roster on artists. Cinco Pistas' mission this year, the goal this year is to put on shows. And obviously when you're on stage and it's like a lot of noise and a lot of stuff, like it's kind of hard to get the message, but that's why I'm saying it here. Cinco Pistas' idea is to put on a lot of shows this year. And so we need artists. We need artists show up. We need artists to plug up. We need artists to play their music. And then this is how we're going to start scouting and start vetting and use the Plug and Play as a funnel so we can meet more artists to put on shows for Música Latina. Entonces, having plenty to pick from is definitely the case. But that does not exclude you from the Plug and Play, though, just because you're not an artist. No, like show up, play your music if you're a producer, or just show up and shake hands. Like we want to meet you. Like we really want to just know who's out here, especially, I don't know, all different walks of life too, porque somos tantos latinos en Atlanta, que hay muchos de Venezuela, que hay muchos de República Dominicana, que hay, Colombia, hay de todo, bro. Muchos centroamericanos, mexicanos. Like it's such a melting pot. Atlanta is a really dope melting pot, in my opinion.
It's its own melting pot, for sure.
Not like New York, not like Miami.
Right.
And including our super extensive use of English, which is something that we're fighting on a daily basis.
We're too inland.
We're too inland. No, we're going to Savannah, everybody.
Hey, yeah.
It was the other capital back in the day, so we gotta or at least a port major city.
Yeah,
Savannah.
No, but yeah, man. I agree. I heavily agree with just popping out if you are not an artist, and even though Cinco Pistas' mission is to, hold showcases for the year, there's way more opportunities that'll come from just showing up. And I mean, that's like one of my mottos, you know what I mean? You just show up, man.
Bueno, podemos hablar de eso porque viene Tony Zucker. I don't know if the people know yet. I think it just got posted yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So viene Tony Zucker en abril. Do you remember the date? I don't remember the date.
April 3rd.
April 3rd. Viene Tony Zucker.
2025.
April 3rd, 2025. Y ahí hay oportunidades para los músicos, for people to get to know each other. And it's actually presented by Cinco Pistas. So Tony Zucker, presented by Cinco Pistas, April 3rd, 2025. Show up. What are we talking about? Like, look what's going on. Entonces, conéctate. That's it.
Yeah. I sent it to a couple of people that would actually know, and they were like, all I said was, I sent them the flyer. I said, look at the top. Because it said Cinco Pistas. You know what I'm saying? I had a flex on one tizzy.
Yeah.
Shout out to Luis from Luis Fernandez from Mojito is making all of this happen too.
Restaurateur. It's a new word, man. I didn't know that word before.
Bro, restaurant tour, like TOUR is crazy.
But there's no N, I don't think. It's restaurateur.
Right. But you're like restaurant tour.
TOUR. Restaurant. We're touring restaurants. That's what we're doing.
Wow,
He's got like 5 of them. I don't know.
I know. I'm an immigrant, but god dang,
loco,
bro.
Yo nunca he escuchado esas palabras, bro. Es que no es que soy inmigrante, es que soy indio, loco. No beef with Sid, though. I don't know what you say.
He the real Indio.
Yeah, Sid is real Indio for real. Shout out to Sid, my boy.
I got
man.
Google Translate on active right now.
That boy doing 1,000 things at the same time.
Yeah, right. Look that up. Real quick. That's it. No, just kidding.
Young Sid.
But yeah, it's so cool. Luis over there from Mojitos, which is, I mean, such a heavy lifter for Cinco Pistas, you know? He's like just a force to be reckoned with, man. So it's really cool to see the support that Cinco Pistas has from the dynamic of everybody involved, just Drew Castro as well, Paul Diaz, owner of Tree Sound, be more on his side, just getting the websites and all this organization and stuff going on. It's a really cool team. Pretty excited to be part of something.
Yeah, Paul Diaz.
Something that's
Did you say
working.
Paul?
I did say Paul.
Okay.
Yeah, Paul Diaz. So he's obviously we're going to be in his building, the 15th, 3/15/25. Plug and play. Be there, be square.
No, for sure. Yeah, man. What else? What else about plug and play?
Plug and play, man. I'm with you, bro, on the new faces. I think that's the main thing. Just the new faces, new vibes.
Well, I guess I haven't asked you. What are you looking to get out of plug and play episode 3?
Great content. I want great content out of episode 3, man, and that includes having great photos for everyone. Maybe we could do headshots. You know how we've been doing.
Man, you know what I really want? I think when you say great content, I think we need to have like great. And we still have a little bit of time, right?
Okay.
To I think we need to have the step and repeat this time.
Step and repeat.
I think that we need to have the things that make for great content.
For great content, great events.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so obviously bootstrapping the whole thing from the very beginning, it's like there's only so much you could do, right? But but this time around with all the support, like you're saying, I think that, having like I want to have this thing where like I don't know how to do it yet. So I'm taking suggestions on like how to get like just a mean Rolodex. Like, but I want it to be like interactive. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you like write your name and then you write down like maybe there's stickers of like, or like if you're a producer, you put the sticker, you take the producer and then you put it on there.
What if we find like the OG Rolodex and like literally have like a real one, like a real OG where like that word came from,
But that's the thing, it's just not interactive enough, I'm thinking
you don't
like
think so?
I want
if there's literally a Rolodex sitting on a table and you can just get to go through. What if we had a whole bunch of them, and they're all empty.
Maybe.
Everybody, there's somebody, así como cuando vas a una boda y hay un libro y you sign your name, I was here at your wedding, da da da.
Yeah.
So if it's like that, like, or
the thing is that people write so sloppy, and so that's the one thing that we've always just encountered is the like just people just they write their email, but we can never write it down, or even just like I think what we really need is like to get people to sign up for notifications so that we can send them emails, send them updates, send them coupons, send them offers, send them all of that. Because that's what like, I think that's the thing that we're missing is like the Rolodex of like, I want damn near like a little like mini Facebook.
Pero yo creo que el look at me, it's not a problem, but you got to dissect that because there's people that are like in the Rolodex. Sorry, there's people that are in attendance that are not part of the Rolodex, meaning they're just attending. Or they're.
But look, no, we always run into this thing where it's like, hey, last night, Luis was like on the group chat, and he's like, yo, I'm looking for a male singer that can sing this kind of song by Bruno Mars,
right,
for the show.
That's right.
I need him ASAP, and we're like, well, what about this guy? Well, what about but it's very limited, right? Very limited.
It's
here.
to whatever you can get off top. Like
exactly.
Instead of having un libro que tú puedes abrir and go down a list.
Yeah, including the congas. He's looking for somebody to play congas, and bro, he hosts live music every week
at Mojitos
at his places.
So what's the deal, right?
What's the deal? But I don't blame him for any of it. It just I think that maybe
it's the system.
Well,
or not the lack of a system.
Well, also maybe I think that like. Yeah, but I think that they're looking for something really specific too.
That's right.
Right. So I don't know the details on that.
That's right.
But
but that does mean
we should have a Rolodex. We should have 10 people that play congas, and then what else do you play? And what else are you proficient in? Somebody recently was like, "Yo, I'm looking for trumpets or something," and so I hit up a guy that I've used before for sax, and I was like, "Yo, do you play any other brass?" You know, and he's like, "I play this, I play that," but none of it was trumpet, you know, and so right, and so but you know, it's like, damn, like I just want to go on the thing and just do a thing. You know, he was saying like Luis was saying we should do like invite only memberships, you know, like pay like a little yearly thing, even if it is like yearly whatever, and then you have access to the whole all of Atlanta
to the database,
you know. But that's for like
we got to build that.
I don't care for that. You know, I care for just like knowing who's out here. What are your strengths? What is your forte? What do you do? Like if your name is Julio Gonzalez and you are an artist, but then you also play guitar and you also play bass, you know, that needs to be like in a little like Facebook kind of thing, you know, with your picture on it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Let me adjust the gate over there real quick.
What gate?
The gate of the microphone real quick.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I just want to go adjust a gate real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, in the middle of our podcast here.
Okay, we're gonna break here for a second, and then I guess we'll just see a thing happen.
No, it'll just be in post, and we'll end up cutting. This is fine.
You know, Esco has a gate that he has to keep from just non-serious musicians and artists that want to get through, and he had to go and adjust it because we over here being so loud about all of this that he had to go and just make some adjustments. So that's good. Appreciate it.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Since I don't know if people know this out loud too much, but since I was a teenager, I do say it a lot. I just don't know who all knows it. But I wanted to be a gatekeeper since I was young, for sure, for like the Latin music scene in Atlanta, but not in a negative way. I would like reverse gate, like keep out the people that are here to use us.
I've been thinking about that. Okay, that's a good one, but it's kind of like it's still the same thing.
It is the same thing. Well, you know what's difficult about it is you have to make sure that what you're aligning with is not solely yourself, right? Like if it was up to me who gets in and who gets out, then it's exactly what you're saying. Like I'm being a gatekeeper. It's whoever I think should be in and who should be out. But it's there. I think there's always going to be that bias because based on my experience. I think this or whatever, right? But in my opinion, I think that I've seen. First of all, I want to align myself with God when I'm making any kinds of decisions. Whether I like to align myself with another person, or me and you be jumping on a mission. I gotta ask God first. It's like, yo, is Bryan Anzel the type of person that I need to be in business with? You know, so when it comes to gatekeeping, I want to have that same kind of motion and go to God first, and then see how this person moves or feels or and then just see if it works out. Sometimes you're not gonna be right. Sometimes you're not God, so sometimes you're gonna make the wrong call. But if you can align yourself with God as best as you can, then I think I could be a fair gatekeeper here. And based on the fact that I have run into people that are just trying to use our Latin music for their gain, there's a lot of people that are not Latinos. That's kind of why I'm saying that. There's people that are not Latinos that go, yeah, I want to have the biggest Latin artist ever, like Bad Bunny. Nobody's ever said that to me. I just know that that's the sentiment. And I go, yeah, for what? For your own, just because you did it, and it feels like that. And so I don't blame. It's really funny we're talking about that. I don't blame, if si estás en Puerto Rico, or si vas a Colombia, or wherever there's industry like Argentina, it's not their fault, bro, that they're like, who's this new guy? Like, I don't know. Like, just like if people come to Atlanta, like, yeah, we should do this in Atlanta. It's like, bro, I was born here. Like, I don't think you should have a say so on what Atlanta's gonna do, especially if you're from Pittsburgh. Like, relax. Not especially Pittsburgh. Sorry. I just picked the city. I didn't mean Pittsburgh. I just meant if you're not from Atlanta, like, let Atlanta do its thing. And I've learned that going to Miami, right? And I go to Miami, I'm like, yeah, Miami, I'm gonna take it over. And it's like, no, you're not, bro. It's Miami, dog. Like, you don't belong. You don't go here. And it's like, oh yeah, my bad. I gotta respect what Miami. So if Miami got a gatekeeper, Dad's gonna be like, we don't rock with Esco. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, it's Miami. They said so. It's like, oh okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, man. I mean, with
Smash
the spirit, it still goes back to the same thing of like collaborating with the right people. You know,
Right.
I think
Right.
based on everything that you're saying, right?
Yeah.
It's just like making sure that everybody in Atlanta is getting their just due. You know,
Thank you.
because if they've been putting in the work, like we've been putting in the work, you know, we've talked about our 10,000 hours, you know,
That's right.
behind a certain thing, but now we got to we're starting over, bro. We're starting over. We're
Starting over.
starting over with this. We need to put 10,000 hours into this,
10,000 hours.
and we probably even haven't even hit 1,000 hours. You know what I mean?
No way.
No,
No
not
way.
in the grand scheme of the
way.
thing. You know what I'm saying?
There's too many things.
Yeah, and so I'm excited for it though. You know,
Yeah.
I think that 10 years from now, when I'm 43, I'll start another 10,000 hours in another thing. You know,
That's right. That's
you
right.
know. But right now, like, sorry if you've heard me say this before, but it's like we're building. We're using this time, this era to build.
Build and don't
So,
stop. Yeah. That's
yeah,
really cool,
man. Let's wrap this up. 'Cause
Wait.
you know.
Wait.
I think you guys were
What?
talking about the Rolodex before.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. I think Sid, you had an idea.
Yeah, going off that whole Rolodex idea, right? I think what you guys should do for Plug and Play is every attendee that's there, basically have them scan a QR code and fill out the form so you can start your Rolodex. And the form would basically be like 4 questions: their name, email address, what their skill is, and so that way you have an Excel sheet that just gives you all that information that you're looking for.
Yeah, so this is why this is cool that we're talking about this right now. It's really, really cool. But basically, I would love for it to be interactive in a way where, like, when you're posting a reel and you select the topics and it's just a bunch of them and you can click on the little bubbles. I'd like for it to be like that kind of deal.
Yeah.
Instead of you typing in producer, songwriter, percussionist, it's like it just takes too much. It takes the interactive vibe out of it.
Yeah, I'd like to see pictures and faces. Yeah, if I could see it. Just something.
Well,
that
I'm
looks
talking about the user. The user when they go to the QR code.
Yeah.
I'm okay with typing in your email and typing in your name and
Sure.
checking the box for turn on notifications.
That's not interactive, right there. That's what you're saying.
Well, that part is okay.
Oh.
Typing it out.
Gotcha.
That's okay. But then you have to type in like producer, engineer, and whatever else. It's like that's not interactive.
Yeah, that sounds like it needs its own 10,000 hours.
You
know what
think
I'm
so?
saying? Like building whatever that data, but but it takes time. It's
Man,
like
I hit Andrew Fall right now. He'll have that shit to me by tonight. No, I'm just kidding. But no, yeah, man. I definitely want people to. I think another thing that we were talking about for sure was like having all of the things at Plug and Play to make for great content. And so if we have various things, we already. I did talk to the reason why I was talking to Flaco was to let him know about Plug and Play.
That's right.
He's gonna bring the IDS crew with him, the In the Spot crew with him. He's gonna be documenting. Everybody there. You get a chance to do your interviews. We're even talking to people about. We're talking to friends that have podcasts in the city for opportunities for you to go and be on those podcasts.
Sure.
So if you're there and you sign up and you shake hands and all of that, we are holding raffles and all types of like giveaways and like plugins and even Mojitos is giving away a bunch of money.
Mojitos is giving away mojitos.
Hey, no cap. Yep, all night. Yes,
I know.
Yeah.
Shout out to mojitos.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Really, really cool stuff. Really fun stuff. We've been. Did you want to talk about anything else?
Well, I just wanted to highlight with Plug and Play that Two things. Number one is the networking aspect. We talk about how sometimes there's this pressure to be like, okay, and on, now go network. And it is not like that at all. It's more about like what we always do is come hang out, be in the space, see your friends that you already know, meet new people. It's like just I want to take the pressure off the networking thing. It's just we have to give it a name, so we call it a networking event. But outside of that, just don't want to take away the pressure for everybody to think that's like, don't think you have to come and do anything. Just show up and just be in the room and be in the space and be in the vibe. And you can totally approach us, Esco and Bryan, and be like, hey, what's going on? My name is so-and-so. Oh, okay, cool, man. What do you do? All right, cool. And people do that naturally all the time with us. And sometimes they don't, which is okay too. But I want to open that line and say, hey, come hang out with us and just talk to us. The second thing I want to talk about when it comes to the plug and play is that it's not a performance. I've said this before. You're not up there to sing. If you do plug and play, you're not up there to sing on the microphone. This is not a performance. That's what the Cinco Pistas shows are for. That's what everything has a lane. There's other shows in the city as well. Eileen did the show at Habitat the other day. There's shows everywhere to go sing. This is for records. This is for playing your music, so people can get to know your art form. So people, if there's investors in the room, they know what records they're investing in. It's more than just your talent. It's more about the records and the business that you could potentially have. And so that's what plug and play is for.
I know that's really important for you right there, the second one, because Esco's gonna blow a gasket, okay, if you fucking goddamn pull up with some
Mira, te vamos a
demo.
cortar el micrófono. That's what we're gonna do this time. Te vamos a cortar. If you sing at the plug and play, actually you don't get a mic. How about that? You don't get a mic. You're gonna have to yell, "Hi, my name is."
Nah, well, I guess lastly, like plug some of the like where to find the tickets, where to find our socials and all of that.
Look into the camera. Do this.
No, just
it's gonna be off top. I don't really
look into King Congas.
Hey, King Congas. Pues lo ponemos a él a tocar los. No. Sorry. All right, so officialplugandplay.com you can find, and I have a lot of the information for Plug and Play. Go to our official Plug and Play Instagram. You can go to Cinco Pistas Instagram. You can go to Esco_ATL at Bryan Anzel. We have all the Instagrams that you could possibly find for the Plug and Play tickets, and they're in all the bios. So the event tickets are from Eventbrite. There's going to be a general admission ticket that you're going to see. There's a 2-for-1, so you can buy the general admission ticket as well. And then lastly, if you want to plug and play, what you want to do is sign up with buying a sign-up ticket. There's an early sign-up ticket for the plug and play this time. Entonces, te registras, pones tu nombre, you're going to get an email with instructions on where to send your files if you want to send your MP3s or your waves. Now, that's so we can just get to know you and listen to your music. But on the day of, you are going to plug and play your phone. Your phone, the very important part about plugging and playing is that you have the music downloaded to your phone. Have the music downloaded to your phone. One more time. Have the music downloaded to your phone. You can't stream it. It's going to pause on you. It's going to cut off. The Wi-Fi is weird. Siempre pasa algo. We're not playing a YouTube video. No, it's going to mess up. You have to download it and have the file on the phone. Do we need to say that in Spanish?
I think you did.
Sí.
I think you did. You said a portion of it in Spanish. But yeah, I want to highlight that, the important reason why we're not, people are. I heard this from A&R from Atlantic, that this is the president's motto.
Okay.
Is that people are record people first, and so we just want to hear your music, your records, your recordings, but not like a voice memo recording, come on, I mean. You got to be putting some effort here.
Ponte serio.
Yeah. So you can't just have a beat and then you expect to be singing. So I understand now why this is very important for you to highlight right now. Because yes, it's like the same thing with attire.
I'm going to lose it.
It's the same thing with attire. No matter how much we put on there, like no hats, no hoodies, no,
loco.
like dress your best.
Okay, so for the record, the Recording Academy is going to be in the building.
Yeah.
Just in case, I don't think we mentioned that the whole
No,
time.
we
The
haven't.
Recording Academy. Okay, if you don't know who the Recording Academy is, the Grammys.
Right.
They're going to be in the building. You know, we know these people. They've supported Adjacent Leap before, you know, because we've known a lot of the people, but we're Academy members. Entonces, they love what we're doing. They love the ideas of the plug and plays. They love like our community focus, because the Recording Academy is a community. Everybody that votes, everybody that submits, everybody that's a member for whatever reason. And so, but they love the creators and they love engineers and producers especially. So,
Dressed apart.
dressed apart.
Look
You
your
gotta
best.
Look good. You got executives. What if there's a label head in there that wants to give you a deal and you wearing a hoodie and a hat? You look, you know,
Yeah.
come on, bro.
Yeah. If you're an artist, pull,
On
you
that
know,
fly.
put,
You know what
pop
I'm
out
saying?
with the full, you know, the whole get up. We want to see because that's the whole thing about being an artist too, man, is that like you're supposed to be having fun. You're supposed to be wearing the crazy things. You're supposed to look like a rock star. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like when Hollywood Rocky pulls up, pops out.
Un loco,
You know what
eh?
I'm saying? And
Yeah.
you're like, he's an artist.
You have to look at him.
And you see it, and you believe it, and you go, wow. When MG the artist pops out, you see it, you believe it, you go, wow, that is an artist. What
That's right.
what is his name? I want to shake
That's
his
right.
hand.
That's
you know?
right.
So
That's right.
everybody, yeah, definitely. Like what was it that we said in the other one? Level up, or what did we say? Tighten up.
Yeah. Tighten up. Yeah, tighten up. Yeah.
Everybody tighten up.
Everybody tighten up, man.
Everybody put in more hours. Everybody stop hanging out. Everybody, whatever sacrifice means to you. And so sometimes it is like, hey man, I can't make it out to the 5-year-old's birthday party. Sorry, I can't. I got way more important things to do, because it is like, even if you're in your 20s, it's like, hey man, this is your time, especially if you're in your like if you already know that you want to do this, you know, and you're like 18, or you feeling it, you know, you're feeling it when you're like in your like mid-teens, you know, but that is your prime. This is your time to like, we are like, even us as a collective, like we are looking for that young talent, you know, Shakira's first interview, that keeps popping up on my algorithm, and she was 11, you know, and you know,
Yeah,
but
that was crazy.
there's just so, you know, Tiny, when he was coming up, he got signed when he was 15, you know,
yeah.
he was already a beast,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
so
yeah.
we're looking for we're looking for that crack, man. We can't have a proper like Atlanta industry without the talent.
Nah.
And without people putting in the work, and without people just,
Ain't no
you know, we need people to put in the 10,000 hours to eat, breathe, and sleep this thing, you know? And I think that is the kind of people that we are going to attract to the plug and plays.
Yeah.
And especially this one,
Yeah.
March 15th, 2025. It's happening. Tree Sound, get your tickets. You know what I'm saying? You already plugged all of the good stuff.
I think so.
Yeah.
Can we try any harder? Like, dude, dang.
I think that's it.
Well, real quick, I did want to, first of all, I left that laptop unplugged when I checked the drive earlier, so hopefully it doesn't die on us here in a second.
Well, either way, we have that other meeting coming up, so that's why I've been trying to wrap this up.
Well,
But
it's,
I'm with a Salvadorian.
It's
with an El Salvadorian.
It's 12:05.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So last thing.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of things that
And no beef with El Salvadorians. I keep saying that.
it's
I
obviously-
keep saying
it's
that
all
wrong
beef,
on
bro.
purpose.
Ugh.
But it's just, you know. All right.
¿Cuál arepa? ¿Cuál? Okay.
La arepa is de Colombia, okay?
Okay,
I got
mira.
it. I just needed to say that.
Per society sound. I kind of want to put it on record, you know. We'd love more help around the studio. We'd love more interns to work with us. You know, reach out to Ocho, reach out to Sergio, who's working with us, you know, and see what it's like to be part of the team over here. Send in your resume. You have to send in a resume. If you have a schooling experience, even better. If you don't, send in a resume anyway. We'll talk. Entonces, I think that being part of a team like Society Sound, you'll learn a lot of things that you won't learn. You won't learn at school, and you won't learn in any other studio in this whole entire city. Y especialmente si eres latino, manda el resume, no sé cómo se dice eso en español, el currículum.
Hoja de vida.
No, ¿cómo va a ser hoja de vida?
It is.
No es hoja de vida.
I'm like 99% sure.
Pero, bueno, la palabra
Young said.
la palabra resume is already like French or something, you know? Un resumen. Es un resumen. O sea, es una palabra.
I'm pretty sure it's hoja de vida.
Bueno. Entonces, manden su hoja de vida a nuestro correo electrónico.
Young Sid, how do you say resume in Spanish?
El resume.
Entonces,
Please note that I am not Spanish and
Right.
at all. I'm actually the real Indian. So
It's a real indio.
Indio. There we go.
That's a
super
indio. That's a t-shirt. I ain't gonna cap. Real indio.
Super indio.
You should wear that on a t-shirt for the plug and play.
I can't even say Indian in Spanish. What is it again? El Indio?
Yeah.
El indio.
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 El indio.
I'm gonna get that shirt.
A hat or something.
Yeah, imagine he had a shirt that says El Indio. That would be crazy.
El indio is hard.
The funniest thing
Changing
is,
your name in my phone.
the funniest thing is when people come up to me and sit and think that which one of us speaks Spanish. It's like that's
Oh
the
my
one
god, it
that
happens
like,
every time.
That is funny.
It's always all right. Well, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's wrap it up. I think that's all I got, man.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, tuning in. We'll catch you next time.
Society Sound Popcast.